Good evening. We are going to get started with our Alaska Innovators Hall of Fame, the State Committee on Research. It's my, I'm touched by this opportunity here. I'm without words. It's my opportunity to introduce two gentlemen that are going to preside over this award ceremony. Dr. Paul Lair is the Vice President for Academics, Students, and Research for the University of Alaska. He is the co-chair of the Alaska State Committee on Research. And with him is the University of Alaska Fairbanks Vice Chancellor for Research, Larry Hinsman. Thank you very much. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Lair and Dr. Hinsman to the stage.
Thank you very much, Brian. It's a great honor to preside over the induction of our recipients to the Innovators Hall of Fame. The Statewide Committee of Research is a committee that was created to promote research and development as an enterprise and as an engine for economic development in Alaska. It is a committee composed of members from the university, from the government. In fact, the Lieutenant Governor Meyer is co-chair of SCoR, although he could not be here this evening. Also representatives from state and federal agencies and private industry. And we meet and we collaborate and coordinate activities to promote economic development. In 2014, the committee decided that we needed to recognize the entrepreneurial spirit here in Alaska, and they created the Innovators Hall of Fame. Over that time, we have inducted men and women from Alaska, from the university, from private sector, who have contributed to ideas and the spreading of ideas in Alaska. Last year, we also inducted an invention. We inducted the Alaska halibut hook, recognizing the innovation of our peoples of Alaska. They've been here a long time, they've adapted to their environment, and they have been innovative in many, many ways, and we want the Hall of Fame to recognize them as well. So today, we will induct 3 recipients. Can we see that slide, I guess? Dr. Jerome Johnson, Dr. Matthew Sturm, and Dr. Seth Danielson. Unfortunately, because of previous travel and the flu, they could not join us today. But what we wanted to do was to take a moment to recognize them and their contributions as innovators. All 3 are scientists at the University of Alaska Fairbanks and have other careers working with the federal government and other agencies. And none of them probably started saying, I'm going to be an innovator in some way. All of them had a problem they wanted to solve, whether it was working about power or working out how to measure something. And they came up with a device, a tool, an approach that suited their needs. It solved their problem. But it was also solving problems for other people. And they shared those ideas, and they saw that there was an interest, and they brought other people on board, and they founded companies and to be able to promote those ideas and those innovations. All of us have come across things that we do in our lives and in our work that make our jobs easier in some way. Some tool, some piece of software, some object or some idea that is just easier to do. That is innovation, and that is what you all do. So what I would like to do is just have you all consider, as we move forward in our Innovators Hall of Fame, is to think about the people around you that have been innovative in Alaska. They don't all have to be at the university, but they all have to have ideas, and we want nominations. I want to acknowledge our nominations committee, which is John Bittner from the Alaska Small Business Development Center, Brian Holst from the Juneau Economic Development Council, and Meade Treadwell, former Lieutenant Governor. They were the ones that were going through the nominations and making the final selection, and I thank you all for your contributions there. As we go through our 3 recipients, I'll ask Larry Hinsman to say a few words about them. Larry has worked with all 3. In his role as Vice Chancellor for Research at the University of Alaska and as a researcher at the University of Alaska. In your program, there is an extensive biography of each of our recipients and also what their contributions are. And then also on your table is a shorter biography about each one of those. And I encourage you to take a look at them and see, again, their stories are very interesting and how they came up with innovation. Each one of our Hall of Fame inductees will receive a certificate, and that certificate says, the certificate of induction for your demonstrated innovation in creating or facilitating outstanding inventions that have a tangible impact on the quality of life, economic development, and welfare of the people of Alaska and/or global impact. Each of you out there are doing that now. I would love to be able to stand up here next year and induct one of you into the Hall of Fame. So look around, consider the people you work with, and consider nominating them at any time, and just let us know so that we can consider those in the future. Again, thank you all for being here. So our first nominee is Dr. Jerome Johnson, Jerry Johnson, and I'd like Vice Chancellor Hinsman to say a few words about Jerry. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. And I will be very brief in that we've got a lot to cover tonight. So I'm just going to say a few words about each one of them. Jerry Johnson's a remarkable guy in that he's got a really wide-ranging career where he's taken on everything from disposing of ordnance under snow to working with the Mars rover, looking at the traction capability of the rovers on Mars. The guy's amazing as far as everything he's done, from finite element analysis to discrete finite difference analyses. And the thing about Jerry that has made him so capable over the years is that the various groups have come to him with challenges, wide-ranging challenges, and Jerry's got such an optimistic attitude. His answer is always, yeah, I can do that. And I think that's the nature of innovation in Alaska. It's taking on a challenge and looking for a solution and finding the solution to drive it through. And I guess all three of our innovators that we're inducting tonight are field researchers. They work in remote areas, and I think it's very characteristic of people who live in Alaska in the remote areas. And if these researchers, these scientists, they go to the field, they can never know exactly what they're going to face. They never know what the problems are going to come up. They can never have everything they need. But the people who are successful are the people who can take what they have, take the tools they have, take the problems they anticipated, and address the challenges that they're facing and be successful. So the really successful people in science, the really successful people in engineering, the really successful people in this world are those that can adapt to the situation, say, yeah, I can do it, and go forward from there. So I'm going to go on to...
Next slide. Oh, let's...
There we go.
Yeah.
So Matthew Sturm. Matthew Sturm is another amazing guy. Matthew has I was saying, Jerry has taken on just a wide range of challenges. Matthew is focused on snow. He's spent his whole life looking at snow, and he's had a wonderful array of inventions, creations that he's developed to make it better for society. Matthew has never really been one to make a big splash for himself, but he wants to help others. He's really been focused on his students. He's been focused on his colleagues. He's always looking for what can make it easier for others. He's invested a huge amount of time into taking his understanding and adapting it for museums, adapting it to outreach. He visits schools. He works with graduate students. He works with our Congress, our legislature, to really expand on the understanding and the knowledge that everybody needs to understand the dynamics of the world. Matthew has taken these incredible snow machine journeys where he's measured the snow all across on continental scales. He spent months doing this, and he's really developed a lot of techniques, a lot of tools to enable success along the way. And I think the world is a better place because of Matthew's innovations. Next slide, please. Seth Danielson. So like all the other researchers, Seth is incredibly capable. So Seth is a physical oceanographer, but he's also really concerned about fisheries. He's concerned about marine biology. He's concerned about sea ice. And to be successful in any of those, you have to be able to do the science, to do the research, but you also have to be an expert in electronics, an expert in power systems. And Seth is one of the driving forces behind developing a power system that could be left in place for up to a year. So this power system, it relies on wind, it relies on solar, it relies on diesel, and it's not so hard to get a power system that'll work on all of those, but to make it work in the field for a year without anybody helping it along, that's a remarkable achievement. And that was that development has been really picked up by a wide range of users after that. So the capability of making something work in the remote Arctic and in these extreme conditions, if it can work there, it can work anywhere. So Seth is another amazing guy that really, really deserves this recognition. So we're very proud of all three of these innovators, and I think that, as Paul said earlier, we hope to see others in this place next year, because there's some great innovations going on in Alaska, and it all deserves to be recognized. So thank you all.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. And please join me in a round of applause for Jerry, Matt, and Seth as our 2019, this is 2018, but 2019 Innovators Hall of Fame inductees. There are posters outside that have their citations on them as well, and so please check those out. And thank you very much, Brian.